What is up? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Whiskey and the Word, episode 10. When you're seeing this, there has been quite a gap in recording for me, but you're seeing this on the heels of last week's episode. Been busy this summer. Wanted to keep this going as consistently as I possibly could. So the way that's breaking down right now is things are getting recorded kind of as time allows, then I'll just release week after week for a period of time, and there will be some lapses. Just the nature of the summer and the stuff we've got going on the family front. But today, what I want to talk to you guys about is toil versus delight. I want to talk about me getting my dream car. I want to talk about how that kind of ties into Ecclesiastes, which is a book in the Bible that I've struggled with and Erin has struggled with, my wife, for quite some time. And it's kind of hitting different today. So we're kind of on the heels. As I'm recording this, it's June 22nd. You're seeing this in the month of July, if not even in August. But I got my dream car this past week, and I'm very excited about it. I want to tie that into this, and I'll talk about why. So we're also going to talk about Michter's 10-year bourbon. And this is a 2023 release, and it says 23D and then some other numbers, but this is applicable to the 2024 releases and beyond. But this is a product that I've had conflicting feelings about over the course of time. We're going to talk about this specific one, talk about Ecclesiastes, tell you about the car thing. We'll get into all of it. Cheers. And I'm a little under the weather, but seemingly can smell and taste just fine. So we're going to roll with it today. I'll talk about the Michters at the end. But yeah, there's some stuff to talk about with this. Let me tell you the car story real quick, okay? 2 weeks ago, I didn't think I would be getting my quote-unquote fun car for a very long time. Erin and I had talked about it. We had agreed that maybe like 3 to 5 years from now, we could start looking for one. We had saved up some money in an emergency fund, yada, yada, saving aggressively in the event that we could get a car sometime in the future, as well as have that money serve as an emergency fund right now. 2 weeks ago, as of the recording, that Monday, a car popped up for auction. And I looked at it. It was perfect. 2007 Cayman S Porsche, 25,000 miles, immaculate condition, very rare color, forest green metallic, tan interior with a sycamore wood package that makes it look like super retro cool. And I was like, man, I've never even seen a car this nice. Like, this specific model and year range was exactly what I had zeroed in on being the perfect car for me. It's the right price. It's the right handling, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, the right size, super fun, right power levels, the right looks. It's kind of retro modern, like neo-vintage look. And it was perfect. And this one was the perfect example of the perfect car. I showed it to Erin and I said, look at this, 3 years too early. I was like, I've been watching this market for years, never seen one this nice before. I can't believe it popped up now and not 3 years from now. And she said, let's get the car. She said, that's beautiful. I want to get the car. And I said, there's no way in the world. We've got our savings. We don't want to decimate those. We want to be financially responsible. And we talked about it, and what we came to was, will we ever see another example of this vehicle this nice again? Probably not, because I've never seen one before, anywhere close to this nice. Can we build our savings back up through hard work? Yes, we can. Therefore, let's make a move on the car. We made a move. We won the auction. We flew out to Charlotte to get the car, drove it back over 2 days on the back roads, stayed off the highways. It was a wonderful trip. It was an amazing time, truly bucket list stuff. And I love the thing. But it's so good that I'm getting it at 42 years old, because what I know at 42 years old is that I'm very blessed and very grateful to even have the ability to work the way that I do. But I work really hard. And we live off of my income through UPS, and we save aggressively. So we were in a position to be able to move on this car because of all the smart moves and all the hard work that we have had in the past. So that right in there is a lesson in and of itself. But there's a part of me that wants to be a little bit bashful about the fact that I have a Porsche now, even though it's not all that expensive. Like, you could spend more on a Kia minivan than you could on this thing. However, it still feels a little bit odd to me, I guess. I don't know. I'm a guy that comes from very lower class, countryside of Tennessee upbringing, and it feels a little extravagant, especially to get something that's purely unnecessary. It's purely just a fun car. It's not an everyday driver or anything. So it feels unnecessary. It feels a little selfish that we made this move, but she fully supported me on it. She was actually the one pushing. I was the one holding back. And I could feel some kind of way about it. But what I do know is that all glory to God for even putting me in the position to have the job that I have, to have the ability to work the way that I do. I work long hours. I work early hours. It's a challenging job. Not everyone can do what I do. I mean, a trained monkey could technically do what I do, but you have to have the resolve. And I thank God for giving me a hard work ethic and putting me in a position to even get this. And all glory to him. The way I look at it is, Albert Einstein had a quote that said, there's only two ways to look at life. Either everything is a miracle or nothing is a miracle. That's not a direct quote, but I might have botched a word or two or here or there, or switched things, but I like the sentiment. Either everything is a miracle or everything isn't a miracle. Either God is present in everything in my mind or God is present in nothing. And to me, God is present in everything. So even within the design of this car and what makes it so appealing to me, God is in that to me, because it's a piece of art. It's not just a piece of transportation. So anyways, this was a 30-year dream come true. This was the poster on the wall as a kid, Porsche. The Cayman is my favorite model of sports car that the company makes. Love the layout, love the size, love everything about it. And the fact that I'm able to now be an owner and to own this thing, hopefully, if nobody crashes into me or anything, hopefully I can own this thing for the rest of our lives. Make memories with Aaron, make memories with Avery, have it be like this fun event car every time we drive it. And that's all car nerd stuff. Hopefully you're still tuned in here. But what it comes down to is just rejoicing in the joys that God gives us. And when you think about it from the standpoint of being a parent to a child, there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing my daughter work really hard for something and really focus in on something that she wants, and then seeing her earn it. And I'm so proud of her for the hard work that she's put in. And then for me to be able to then go purchase it and give it to her, it just fills my heart with so much joy. And how much more joy does God get from us, especially when our hearts are in the right place and we're poised to give him praise for the good things in our life. Even if it's something like a car, that's amazing. I've got to imagine that God is delighting every bit as much or more than I am in the fact that we have this car now. And truth be told, like 20 years ago, if this dream would have come true, it would have been all about me. I'd have been like, oh, I worked so hard. Oh, I saved so much. Oh, I made this happen. I won this auction. This was complete divine intervention here, I believe. And I would not have given God the credit 20 years ago. Matter of fact, 20 years ago, this car may have become an idol to me. My grandmother used to give me grief about taking care of my car back then so much and saying, oh, all you do is think about that car. It's an idol for you. I was like, you're crazy, Grandma. My car's not an idol. But she was kind of right. I might have told that story on this channel before. But now this is placed in the appropriate context. And I wanted to read something in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, technically 2 and 3, but reading out of the NIV, and it talks about toil being meaningless. And Ecclesiastes kind of starts off a little bit nihilistic. It's basically just says everything is meaningless. And as you get through it, you kind of unpack it a little bit and you start to see what it's really all about. And it never hit me more than when we got back from the road trip. And then I caught up on my Bible reading, which I'm doing chronologically this year. I'm not bouncing around doing the Bible in a year. And I had to go through Ecclesiastes in one sitting. And things really resonated. But he said, what do workers gain from their toil? And this is chapter 3, verse 9. I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. Now, God laid it on the human race, but real quick, let's bounce back to Genesis chapter 3. after the fall, after God basically gave Adam and Eve everything they wanted and said, hey, just don't eat that one tree. Be cool. And they couldn't do it. So they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then because of that, God put it on Adam, said, curses the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. So, since the fall, the connection of the toil of man is kind of what Solomon here, what this is kind of echoing back to. And so back into chapter 3, verse 11, he says, he has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from the beginning to the end. That is a simple statement, and a lot of people are like, I don't get the God thing. To me, it's like, if you could get God, he's not big enough. Like, God is, you can see glimmers of God in everyday life, but we cannot fathom or contextualize just how big and how great and how good God is. And then Solomon goes on in verse 12, chapter 3, verse 12, in Ecclesiastes. He says, I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. And therein really lies the core and the crux of what I wanted to talk about today, which is nothing we do is going to add to or take away from how great God is. But as Solomon says, I know there's nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, eat, drink, find satisfaction in their toil. This is the gift of God. The gift of God is the life that we are living right now. And I know sometimes my work doesn't feel like I can find satisfaction in it, but I try, and I definitely, obviously enjoy eating and drinking, enjoying good things, and giving glory to God, as long as my posture and position are in the right place and my heart's in the right place to give him the glory, then that's amazing. Is the work that I do on a day-to-day basis going to mean anything in the end? Maybe, maybe not. But hopefully it brings people closer to God. Hopefully it helps my family grow spiritually, helps me grow spiritually and get closer to God. And then at the end of my days, hopefully I lived life and enjoyed it instead of just working nonstop. And I've been working nonstop basically since I've been 18, I've been working either 2 jobs or like 10 to 14 hour days. And I think what this kind of thing is teaching me, this whole situation, is that you got to slow down. You got to enjoy the things. You have to live while you're living. You can't just live and work towards goals to be enjoyed later. Tomorrow's not promised, Today is the gift that we have, and I know that's cliche, but it is true. Try to find something today to enjoy. Try to find something today to give God glory for. And by doing that, we can be tuned in more to the gifts of God that we have. And it can also kind of ease this burden about what may feel like meaningless toil that we are under, thanks to Adam and the fall and all that stuff. So with that said, let's go ahead and hit on this Michter's real quick. This stuff right here, it smells like a caramel and oak explosion. It's nothing but just boatloads of caramel, vanilla, and oak. Ooh, like a vanilla cream. It smells amazing. It smells very much like classic bourbon. 94.4 proof and 10 years old, but reportedly older than that. 14 maybe-ish years is about what the rumor is. Unconfirmed there, but this stuff is sourced allegedly from Brown-Forman. All but confirmed, like very closely. That's kind of what everybody believes this is. But it smells a little bit more like caramel vanilla and less of like the banana cherry that Brown-Forman can get. It smells wonderful. Let's get a sip. Now this is low proof or high price. These are about $200, give or take a little bit. I think retail's $170, but if you get them at Michter's, they're usually packaged with the regular bourbon, so you're going to pay over $200 for it. But yeah, this is very, very good whiskey for low proof whiskey. It's not going to blow you away if you like high proof stuff, but man, is it so enjoyable. And it's amazing that at some point in time, somebody had grains that were spoiling, and so they fermented them, and then that was spoiling, so then they distilled it, and then they're like, let's store that in an oak barrel, and then all of a sudden something like this comes out years later. Incredible. Like, that is a miracle. Going back to the Einstein quote, like, it's almost unfathomable that someone came up with this, yet they did. And this is what it's for. It's to be savored. It's to be enjoyed in moderation, not to be made an idol of, not to be propped up on a pedestal and made a god, but to thank God for this sort of stuff. Do I want to pay $200 for this? I do not. Will I pay $200 for this? Before 2023, I would not have, but 2023 and 2024, I've tasted, I don't know, dozens of these barrels, these single barrels. They've all been worth the money. So Michter's is on the right trajectory for me, and I would be willing to pay whatever the cost of admission is, up to about $200 for these, knowing that I'm getting something that's low proof, but enjoying it for what it is. So that's where I'll leave it today. If you're struggling with toil, if you're struggling with meaning, if you're struggling with, where you're placing your gratitude, I hope this helped. I'm certainly feeling it right now, but again, as a car guy, I haven't had a fun car for like 13 years. And within the last 2 months, now I have my daily driver that I've always wanted. And then now I have this fun car, this Porsche Cayman. So very interesting how this all came together, even in my mind as I was ready to talk about this. I hope I will be able to be more consistent in the weeks to come, but you'll see those roll out as they're ready. Appreciate you watching. We'll leave it there. We'll be back next week. If there's a bottle you want to see me cover, let me know in the comments. I'm reading every comment, but I'm not actively engaging all that much because we're so busy over on the YouTube side with our whiskey channel, Stuff and Whiskey. But I am reading every comment that's left on every video. I really appreciate it. And ultimately, I hope this helps you. So with that said, cheers. See you next week.